Welcome back to the European Basketball Championships, the Olympic Arena in Athens, Greece. I'm Mike Carlson, and we're live with Israel against Yugoslavia. A big game in Pool A of the championships. The Yugoslavs leading the pool, unbeaten with a 4-0 record. A big win over Sweden last night, an easy win for them. Israel with a tough loss to Greece in the game we just showed you highlights of a few minutes ago here on Eurosport, losing by 10 to the Greeks. And for Israel now, we're in the if situation. They can still qualify for the tournament, but it means if they win games and if other people lose. So this is a must-win situation for them. And with me, as he has been throughout the tournament, as he normally is here on Eurosport, our basketball expert Roy Birch. And Roy, based on what we saw yesterday, Israel would not have a chance in the world against Yugoslavia.
No, we're really digging deep into the realms of improbabilities here. They have to beat Yugoslavia and Lithuania and hope that other games go their way as well. So it's all or nothing in this game for Israel, and the way they played yesterday against Greece, if that's the best their offense can offer, then I can't see Yugoslavia having too many problems today. Remember, Israel only scored 49 points against Greece, and they stuck on 47 after the 35-minute mark. So 2 points, and that was on the buzzer as well. And really, the Israeli offense is misfiring all over the place.
49 points, the lowest score by any team so far in the tournament in any game. And you'd expect better from the Israelis, who have a lot of offensive weapons. The outside shooting of Doron Jemchi, the all-around play of Nadav Hennefeld, the former University of Connecticut star, and the current University of Connecticut star, Doron Sheffer, a big player and a potential NBA player, they think, at UConn, as well as the veteran center Ofer Fleischer, 91 caps, now up to about 97 in this tournament, and Madi Daniel with 125 caps for Israel. But they're going up against a team of veterans from all over the world in Yugoslavia, much like the Croatian team we saw live earlier this morning here on Eurosport. Players from the Italian League, from the Greek League, players who play in the Yugoslav League, and of course Vlade Divac from the Los Angeles Lakers.
Interesting, you should call Yugoslavia a team of veterans there, Mike, because the oldest player on the team is Zoran Stretenovic, and he's 31, and we've hardly seen anything of him. But the next oldest player, Zoran Savic, only 29 still, and a great backup center to Vlade Divac, possibly the best center here, if we consider the job he did on Sabonis when Yugoslavia played and beat Lithuania.
Lithuania 3-1 and second in that group. Referee Tolliver practicing his spins with the basketball coach Ivkovic for Yugoslavia, who has coached 3 teams in the Greek League, so he's well known to the crowds here. The coach of Israel is Ziv Shef, and he's had a tough tournament so far in the tournament. And as we said, the Yugoslavs, both veteran and young. I think both those words are correct. Divac, who you think of as having been around forever, is still only 27. He's been in the NBA for a number of years. He was a success in Europe before that. Zarko Paspalju, who played a little bit with San Antonio in the NBA, and he's been in the Greek League for a while. He's only 29. Obradovic, who plays at Alba Berlin, is only 26. Predrag Danilovic, one of the best players in Europe at Buckler Bologna, averaged 29 points a game in the Italian League this year and is going for a tryout with the Miami Heat for next season. He's only 25, and a guy who's expected to go early in the NBA draft this year, Dejan Bodiroga, of Stefanel Milan, is only 22. There's the starting lineup for Israel. Gudis, who was the best three-point shooter in the tournament going into the game yesterday, I don't think he still is, will be in there for the Israelis. And for Yugoslavia, the familiar starting lineup with Savic and Divac underneath, Danilovic and Bodiroga on the wings, and Georgievic at the point.
Well, it's going to be very interesting at the end of this tournament to find out who the press and the coaches have voted in the All-Star team. Only allowed to pick 5 players, and I tell you what, they have got one hell of a tough job there.
Some very tough choices to make. Divac putting a good case for himself with that performance against Sabonis, but of course, in the round robin, it's one thing, and in the knockout stage of the competition, which begins on Friday, it's purely another. And we're saying Greece, who have not looked devastating in the round robin, are going to be a much tougher proposition once we come up into the knockout competition. There you see the standings. Now remember, they give you a point for a loss, so the standings a little bit confusing, but Yugoslavia 4-0, Lithuania 3-1, Greece 3-2. They play tonight against Germany. We'll bring you that game live at 9 o'clock Central European Time, 8 o'clock in UK on Eurosport. A change in our schedule, but don't miss that because Greece-Germany will be another good game. So referee Tolliver puts the ball up, and it's controlled on the downward path by Fleischer. Israel in blue, Yugoslavia in white. We've just got underway at the European Basketball Championships. Must-win situation for the Israelis. Yugoslavia already through to the qualifying, leading Group A with a 4-0 record. And I think I had the colors backwards because Yugoslavia's in blue and Israel in white. It was Divac missing the opening shot of the game, and the first foul of the game called on Zoran Savic. And I'll get my act together in just a second. Brad Leaf, the naturalized Israeli, making his debut for Israel here, although he's 34 years old. That's Doron Sheffer, had a miserable game shooting. And Nadav Hennefeld, that one drops for Hennefeld, which may be a good sign for Israel. The two UConn players who never played together at Connecticut, but combining on that one, and Israel lead 2-0 in the early going. Danilovic with the ball for Yugoslavia. They clear out for Bodiroga, and he's going to be called for backing in, and the foul will go against Yugoslavia, and Israel will get the ball back.
That's good, patient defense from Israel. Very ponderous on offense at the moment, Yugoslavia, a little bit hesitant, and if Israel have a game plan, then it should be to restrict the number of possessions that Yugoslavia gets, how to win with less talent, and it is possible, but you've got to stick to that game plan.
And this time it's the Israelis called for the foul offensively with the illegal screen. And Yugoslavia will put the ball into play. Brad Leaf gets his first call.
And if you're going to play to a game plan like the one I've just suggested, then you have got to eliminate all unnecessary losses of possession. And there was one that Israel could do well without.
Bodiroga now on top. Danilovic across the middle. And Georgievic comes across. And Brad Leaf will pick up, Nadav Hennefeld will pick up that foul. Right there with the body. So a lot of whistles in the opening minute of the game. Georgievic out to Bodiroga. He'll be looking at the wires Thursday morning, and Bodiroga on the drive, banks it in off the glass. The foul will be on Ofer Fleischer, and it's 2-2, and Bodiroga will be looking because he's expected to go in that NBA draft on Wednesday. Only 22 years old, already a veteran in European competition. And missing the foul shot. Funny looking release that Bodiroga has. Big question about how he can get that shot off against top defensive competition.
Interesting start to the game. Yugoslavia have not exactly gone off at the same pace that they did against Lithuania, and this possibly playing into the hands of the Israelis. A very slow start for both sides, and if Israel do want to keep this down to a low-scoring game, then there is just a vague, faint possibility of an upset here.
So both teams cold from the outside. And it's Guy Goodis taking it the length of the court and laying it in. Not much defense from the Yugos. And the ball's loose. Israel come back down again on the break. 4-on-2. Hennefeld leads it, but it slows it up. Gets it back out to Goodis. And across to Doron Sheffer. But he's off in the lane. Fleischer couldn't hold the rebound. Divac took it away. Georgievic to Divac. All kinds of confusion. Bodiroga switching his feet. but knocks the ball in. 4-4. And Divac didn't look very sharp on that one. Both teams looking a little bit ragged right now. Divac had the rebound knocked away from him by Leaf, but it's Bodiroga who picks up the ball, goes behind the back. That one was deflected by Sheffer, but Georgievic got it in the corner and hits. It's 6-4, Yugoslavia in the lead.
Well, 2 points there from a piece of showboating by Bodiroga. No need for that on the end of the fast break. Okay, he's going to please the crowd, but Yugoslavia a little bit lucky there to get the deflection go their way.
Brad Leaf working underneath, but it's in and out. Leaf only 6'5", taking on the bigger men. And a traveling call on Sasha Georgievic, who doesn't like that.
That was good defense from the Israelis. Georgievic had to reach for that outlet pass from Divac, and there was an Israeli defender there, and Georgievic forced to travel. Not too much movement on the Israeli offense.
Hennefeld into Fleischer on a little turnaround. Nice move, tied at 6.
And I wonder how long Coach Sheff can keep his top offensive weapon in reserve. That's Doron Jamshi.
In and out, Fleischer tips the rebound. Israel's got it. They go to Doron Sheffer, looking for the fast break. Not much help up there, and Fleischer coming up. He gets fouled on the turnaround, and just like the game against Greece, Israel basically bringing the ball down and throwing to one man. He's trying to take it in. There's very little team offense being generated. That's why they're not getting the good shots, and they're not making them.
You see good footwork from Fleischer, and Divac forced a foul. Well, the foul actually went, according to the director, against Savic, which is his second.
Fleischer very, very short on the foul shot. And short on the second one, so the score stays level at 6. And again, if Israel's going to follow Roy Birch's game plan, they can't afford to miss foul shots either.
No one scored a lot of points against Israel. The problem is they don't score many points themselves.
And before the shot, foul called against Hennefeld, trying to keep Savic away from the basket. Hennefeld hardly making contact at all.
Savic, one of the unsung heroes of the former Yugoslav situation, and I can remember him playing in the Final Four in Paris, and Tony Kukoc got the MVP. Not one single journalist in the entire arena could understand it, because Savic had a magnificent tournament.
3 points for Danilovic. Yugoslavia 9, Israel 6. Israel coming back on the fast break. High off the glass and taken out was Brad Leaf. Good ball movement. Easy layup. Danilovic, 5 quick points and a 5-point lead for Yugoslavia.
One of the keys to Danilovic's game is his quickness off the mark. He passed and went past the defender, who was standing absolutely rooted to the spot there.
And again, Israel going one-on-one offense, everyone else standing around. The Yugoslavs coming down on the break, and Bodiroga punishes Israel 13-6. Yugoslavia in the lead.
Well, my game plan has just been thrown out the window.
Israel, one man coming open, everybody else stops. Watches Leaf go to the basket, and Leaf banks it in high off the glass, 13-8.
There's no organization about the Israeli offense at the moment. They're working hard on defense, but they're not getting back on the fast break. And as you say, Mike, they're going one-on-one on offense.
And the call's going to be against Zoran Savic underneath, trying to get past Hennefeld. He was called for 3 seconds as the two of them battled in the lane. Hennefeld, only 6'7", and thin. giving up height and weight to Zoran Savic. He plays for PAOK Saloniki. And is called for the foul on Hennefeld. You saw Hennefeld try to push Savic's hands off him, and Savic just put them right back on. He's picked up 3 quick ones. And he'll probably go to the bench. And we may see Kodorovic come in for him.
Interesting to hear you call that Greek side PAOK there, Mike. Most people call it PAOK. A bit like CSKA Moscow, I suppose. Right. People used to call it Siska.
Well, Savic stays in. Mati Daniel comes in for Israel. That's him with the ball. Working little 2-man game. Misses the 3-point shot. Amir Mukhtari also in for Israel, number 10. So 2 new men in the post positions.
Now Israel have a new shot clock here, and they should really take their time, throw the ball around. And that's exactly what they don't do.
Leaf battling on the boards, but outmanned there, and it's kicked away by Doron Sheffer. And still Doron Jemchi, the outside shooter for Israel, on the bench. No substitution as yet for Yugoslavia. Vlade Divac on the quick spin, and Mukhtari picks up his first foul. Watch Divac, watch how quickly he moves to the hoop. Mukhtari just gets in his way. Divac screen setting on the inbounds play. Bodoroga up at the top of the key. Nearly taken away. Savic now way outside. Leaf tapped that one away. Savic tried to hit Danilovic on the move coming through, but it went off his hand and out of bounds.
That was good defense by Israel, refusing to give Savic a drive into the lane, and it resulted in a turnover.
So Doron Sheffer handling point guard duties for Israel. And trying to take Georgievic down low. Left-handed hook by Mukhtari goes off the rim, and Bodoroga comes down with the ball. Savic, nice looking pass. Bodoroga with the basket. Good teamwork by Yugoslavia.
And Vlade Divac hardly figuring in the Yugoslav offense at the moment, but he's having a very imposing game on defense. Israel just cannot get anything inside.
Daniel dishing off Mukhtari on the double turnaround, but his shot's high off the glass and misses the rim. Georgievic 1-on-4. Pulled up for the long shot. Nice pass underneath. He kept coming. Georgievic, they're so dangerous. Just when you think you've stopped them, they just turn right around, cut through, and it's 17-8.
Great understanding there between Danilovic and Djordjevic. They came up together in the Yugoslav juniors. Danilovic from Bosnia and Djordjevic from Belgrade. But former players of the Partizan Belgrade club side that won the Final Four in 1992.
And Djordjevic picks up the foul as Doron Sheffer headed to the basket with a quick turnaround. There you see it. So Israel inbound. Daniel, little pump fake and puts it in. 17-10, Yugoslavia over Israel.
And Israel living on scraps inside at the moment. A rare occasion then when Vlade Divac didn't get a hand on the ball.
And Divac taking his time down the court. But now he's underneath, and that's his first basket. 19-10 for Vlade Divac. Yugoslavia have outscored Israel 13-4 since it was tied at 6-6. And Divac with the steal, long pass, perfectly timed, hits Danilovic, 21-10, an 11-point lead. I'd call timeout if I was Israel.
And Brad Leaf at the moment, the number 7 for Israel, is having a little battle, but a battle with the official. He's being held in there and keeps telling the official's not interested, and Leaf, his mind is elsewhere. Here he is, outside the arc.
And Divac swats that shot by Leaf away. Hugo's trying for the fast break again, but Doron Sheffer intercepts. Daniel drives to the hoop, stops for the shot, and throws up an air ball. Savic pulls down the rebound. Good outlet passes. Divac behind the back. Great teamwork. 23-10. Beautiful basketball by Yugoslavia.
That was incredible control of the ball by Yugoslavia. Just about every pass was contested, but a couple of behind-the-back passes ending in a lovely fast break. Beautiful 5-man work there from Yugoslavia.
And here they come again, taking the ball away underneath. But the lead pass from Bolivar was kicked out of bounds by Israel. And now Israel will take the timeout. They've been outscored 17-4, and since it was 6-6. And the score is Yugoslavia 23, Israel 10. Israel want a timeout.
And no explanation about the absence of Doron Jamshi in the Israeli starting 5.
And you see 4 fast break baskets off 6 attempts. The fast break for Yugoslavia working brilliantly and never better than the one we saw here. Cued by the block of this shot by Divac, who had his left hand on Leaf, it must be said, as he blocked the shot with his right hand. And Leaf, who's only 6'5", and I mean, he's having his trouble inside, and part of that's a coaching decision, because you go up against a big team with Yugoslavia and you say, okay, I'm going to have Brad Leaf playing a guy who's much bigger than himself through all the game. You've got to expect that kind of play.
And at the moment, nothing happening from outside for Israel either, so having real problems, 2 degrees.
The familiar faces at the scorer's table. The director enjoying taking his cutaways there. And Yugoslavia will put the ball back into play, leading by 13 points at 23-10. Zarko Paspali is in the game now for Yugoslavia. He wears number 8. Savic, despite the 3 fouls, stays in. And Sasha Georgievic. So the shot blocked away, and he's hit in the head as that happens, but no whistle.
And Vladi Divac taking a break. Really not played too much part on the offense, but been very imposing inside. But what a player to replace Divac with, the hard man of Montenegro. That's Zarko Paspal.
I should say this Yugoslav side basically made up of Serbian players with 1 Montenegrin. That's Paspali. And we talked about it so often when we see Slovenia and when we see Croatia. The breakup of the old Yugoslavia has also resulted in the breakup of that powerful basketball team, but so much talent there that what it's done is created 2 more powerful basketball teams and a disappointing one in Slovenia.
That's right. The problem for Western European teams is now they don't have 1 Yugoslav team to think about or to beat. They have 3, possibly even 4 if you consider Bosnia as well, because Bosnia did very well in the 1993 championships.
So we've gone a long while without problems with the shot clock, but we're having them again. We did in the first couple of days here in Athens, the brand new Olympic Arena. And they wind it down to 11, which is what Yugoslav will have to get the shot off. It's Paspai with the ball. Georgievic has got to get a shot off and does. Doesn't get the roll. They fight for the rebound. Sasha picks it up and starts things over again. What's Daniel doing out there on him? Apart from maybe looking for a foul. With the 13-point lead now, content to work the ball and take their time. Danilovic. That's short. Mukhtari got a piece of that and blocked it, but the Yugoslavs come up with the loose ball again, and they get another shot clock and can start all over.
And Israel having to do an awful lot of work on defense. They keep giving the ball away, and they must have spent the last minute plus on defense.
So Predrag, Danilovic. Sasha Georgievic throws up the long one. The three-pointer's good. It's 26-10. And the run now 20-4.
So that really hurt Israel then. They gave the ball up far too many times and they were punished in no uncertain terms with a big three from Georgievic.
Israel, very little team offense here as Arditi took the ball. Now Schaefer throws up a three. It's not even close. He was closely guarded when he threw it up. Good defensive play by Daniel coming back, and Schaefer again with the ball. You see Yugoslavia on a 9-0 run, a 20-4 run since the scores were tied at 6.
And despite the fact that they lead, they have a comfortable lead, Yugoslavia not looking like the really slick machine that we saw against Lithuania. And out of bounds, put the pass back in, got away with that. It's very sloppy looking stuff from both teams right here. But with a big lead, the Yugoslavs can afford to be sloppy. The run is now 22-4, and the lead is 28-10. And a player of real class, Danilovic, finally has had enough and ends the drought, the relatively short drought for Yugoslavia, with a nice layup.
And a three-pointer from Israel finally ends that run, but they had been outscored 22-4 in the first half since the game was tied at 6. It's now 28-13, and Israel's back on the board. Three-pointer misses, but it's kept in play by Zeljko Rebraka. Two-pointers off from the outside. They just throw it back out there again as Paspali gets the offensive rebound.
Well, this is rebounding practice for the Yugoslavs now. And Israel are just not getting anybody on anybody's.
Georgievic dishes to Savic. Doran Schaefer has to foul him, and Savic will go to the line. And it's nice when your first two forwards off the bench are Zarko Paspali and Zeljko Rebraka, both very, very talented players. Rebraka averaged 26 points a game for Partizan, 6 rebounds. He's going to Benetton Treviso next season, but it was also drafted by the Seattle Supersonics last year in the NBA draft. His rights were traded to Minnesota. I wouldn't be surprised to see him wind up in the NBA in the next couple of years.
One thing about the Yugoslav system is that they've had a very small number, in fact probably only 1 or 2 Americans playing in the Yugoslav League. And testament to the development of the game in Yugoslavia is that most of these players out here are playing as foreign players in other parts of Europe.
The basketball factory for the rest of Europe. The old Yugoslavia. Confirmation of that in this Yugoslav team. Bordoroga plays for Milan. Danilovic for Buckner Bologna. Obradovic for Alba Berlin. Paspali for Panathinaikos. Georgievic for Philodoro Bologna. Divac for the Los Angeles Lakers. And Savic for PAOK Saloniki. PAOK.
By the end of the week, Mike, you'll get all of our pronunciations right. It's like Stolcha and PAOK.
We still haven't really gotten on the same planet as to whether we pronounce these names Danilovic or Danilovic. Have to get a Slav to give us where the accent lies on that. But I hope you in the audience aren't getting too confused as Roy Birch and I go back and forth on these issues.
Well, I have it from my Czech friend that a C in Yugoslav is pronounced ch, not as if it were a K.
29-15.
So how you get stopped for that? I don't know.
There's 2 C's. Well, there's 2 C's in most Slavic languages. One's a hard C and one's a ch C. I'm not quite sure which is which, but... Israel get an offensive rebound, not a common occurrence. But they toss up, Yildiz just tosses up the long three with nobody under the boards. tosses that possession away.
Israel had 3 men on the halfway line then watching that long shot. Illegal screen. Foul. There we go, Pascal just dips his shoulder and his hip. And something that we saw Vrankovic do an awful lot of for Croatia, but on that occasion Pascal was spotted.
So Yugoslavia now take a timeout as the game gets very sloppy, and they lead 29-15. And it's just what we didn't want to see really in this game, was for it to get one-sided and disintegrate into sloppy play, something that last game between Finland and Croatia never really did. The Finns playing very tough, and as much as we may blunder in the pronunciations, one thing we're not blundering on is trying to turn that possession statistic into something meaningful. And again, if viewers want to help us out with pronunciations, we'd be grateful. But if you'd help us out on what possessions actually is supposed to tell us, we'd be more than grateful.
Yeah, going back to that game, Finland and Croatia, all credit to the Finns. They made a game of it. And at the moment, I think Israel are disappointing just about everybody in this arena, including the Yugoslavs, who know that they've been dragged down to a very scrappy game.
Once again, you see Israel shooting very, very bad, and you can see the reasons why. They're not taking good shots, they're not getting offensive rebounds. There's very little teamwork involved. They get a man open, then he goes one-on-one.
It's all very well playing in a scrappy game, or to quote a few aficionados, taking it down to the level of the gutter, but you've got to keep it close. If you're going to be involved in a scrappy game, don't let the opposition get away from you.
Goodis off the side of the backboard. Two-pass offense from the Yugoslavs. Obradovic set up Paspalia, who couldn't dunk it through. Daniel goes underneath, makes room for himself, and the shot won't drop, but he gets the foul. So Mordecai Daniel will go to the line, and the foul is on Zeljko Rebraka.
This is really bad news for Yugoslavia. They had a fast break at the other end, and they showboated a through-the-legs pass, an attempted reverse layup, they got nothing, and then they commit a foul at the other end. Yugoslavia do not want to be involved in a game like this at this crucial stage of the tournament. They want to be just getting their act together to peak at the right time.
So Daniel only makes one of two. The shooting woes continue for Israel. And Yugoslavia bring the ball down with Sasha Obradovic on the point. Vodaroga. Shot won't drop, but Obradovic nicely positioned to get it as Hennefeld went flying. And that one's taken away by Mati Daniel.
Well, that's one of the few occasions I've seen a Yugoslav actually telegraph a pass into that low post. One of the great skills of the game, how to get the ball inside, and that was a dreadful exhibition. That pass, you could see it coming about 5 minutes ago.
Zeljko Rebraka getting his second foul. A good indication of when the game starts to disintegrate is how many cutaways of women you get from our director. Because if his attention starts to go, you know that the game is beginning to fall apart. Mukhtari now at the line, 23 years old. And we talked about the wanderers from Yugoslavia playing all over the world. 7 teams in this tournament. The players all play in the domestic leagues. The other 7, they play in various countries, although Israel almost made it into the 7 domestic list because the only player playing abroad is Doron Sheffer at UConn. And presumably when he finishes at UConn, if he doesn't get drafted or doesn't make an NBA team, he'll go back and play in Israel. The other 11 players all playing in the Israeli league. And 5 of them, play for Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Well, Coach Ivkovic of Yugoslavia has gone well and truly to his bench now, and hoping, I would assume, that he's going to get a more fluent exhibition from them.
Mati Daniel with the steal, takes it the length of the court, lays it in. Daniel is the one guy working defensively for the Israelis. And they are a tough defensive team. put the kind of pressure on they'd be capable of. And a couple of the players, including Hennefeld and Scheffer, are used to playing that full-court pressure game that Connecticut play. 40-minute press the whole game. You'd expect to see a little bit of that from Israel, especially when they're trailing.
Yeah, they must be going through some kind of rebuilding situation to have left Doran Jamshi on the bench for so long here. And we've not given Israel too much credit in this game so far because it is a very scrappy affair, but the fact of the matter is they're only trailing by 10, and we're coming up to the half-time buzzer. So we'll make that 11 now, but the score, very low-scoring game, 31-20 to Yugoslavia, and almost a repeat of the situation that Israel were in against Greece.
They were a bit closer to Greece, and Greece finally pulled away at the end of the second half yesterday. But another wild shot is Fleischer. Banks it high off the glass. 3-on-2 for the Yugoslavia. And the basket's going to be good by Paspalia, and the foul on Ofer Fleischer as Paspalia just delayed enough to get Fleischer up in the air before putting his shot in.
Great exhibition there of the strength and power of this man, Zarko Paspal. He is made of granite, I think. He was well and truly thumped on that foul then, was strong enough to get the 2 points and the bonus.
So Israel had cut the lead down to 9. And Zelko misses the foul shot. It stays now at 13.
Paspal, of course, the man who missed every single foul shot in the Final Four in Tel Aviv a couple of years ago. 19 points in the first half and came up scoreless in the second half. And Olympiacos lost that final to Badalona, but there's a nice fast break, and one of the trademarks of Paspal there, the snappy pass inside on to the trailing player.
And Rabaka finished that off with the dunk. At the other end, you saw Cohen tried to go behind the back, lost the ball. So Gordon tried to go behind the back, lost the ball. Cohen didn't go down to the floor to pick it up. Yugoslavians did. That keyed the fast break. 3-point attempt by Ardii, well off. And here they come again. Behind the back, behind the head. A little bit of showboating from Bodiroga, and not really necessary.
Coach Ivkovic is not a happy man at the moment. There's no need to showboat like that. Yugoslavia just scored the last 6 points from 29-20. They now lead 35-20 and gave up the chance of an easy 2 there.
You saw Divac go behind the back when it was necessary to make the good pass earlier in the game. It may look good, but you want to save it for when it's necessary. 3-pointers off. Fleischer moving into position for the rebound, and the foul goes against Yugoslavia. We love you, Team Heaven #1. That one is aimed at the Israelis. As Flash Gordon checks back into the game. Rebecca picking up 3 quick fouls. Fleischer gets the drop on the foul shot. 35-21.
Good psychological ploy by any coach, though, to get your bench in for much of the first half. And when the Israelis look down at the players sitting on the Yugoslav bench now and see the likes of Danilovic, Djordjevic and Divac, then, well, they must feel less than optimistic.
Arditi with the steal, comes down on the fast break and gets the roll, and the lead's down to 11 now as Israel showing signs of life in the last minute of the first half. Obradovic nearly held the ball in his hands. We've got the Israeli fans whistling. The old 2-finger technique, preferred, making a lot of noise, and Paspali very accurately called for the travel.
Yeah, twinkle toes, Paspal.
And still no urgency in the Israeli game. More from the fans than the players. They're going to work for the last shot here of the half. Trailed by 11. Avi Gordon. Daniel's got his shot, and he's fouled in and out of the basket, but Daniel will go to the line, and the foul against Dejan Bodiroga.
Well, it was pretty obvious what Israel were doing then, and not particularly smart foul for Yugoslavia to commit with 3 seconds to go to half-time. There's no doubting the loyalty and enthusiasm of the fans, the travelling fans from Israel.
And the ones from Finland as well, because we're seeing the Finnish flags on display. Now, at halftime of this game, in case you missed the Croatia-Finland match we showed live earlier this morning, we'll bring you some highlights of that so you can catch up on the action here in day 6 of the European Basketball Championships.
It's a replay here of that steal. Bodiroga didn't protect the ball.
And Lior Ardidi coming down with the steal and the basket for Israel, putting them within 11 of Yugoslavia. As Coach Ivkovic catches up to his team, and there's the difference in the game right there. Shooting margin, Israel's shooting 40%, a bit better than yesterday. Still can't hit for the three-point, which seems to be really messing their offense up completely. They're not getting the team offense that generates easy shots, and that's why the shooting percentage is so low. And Yugoslavia 4 ahead in possessions as well, whatever that means.
I'm sure the viewers are waiting for that one. Yeah, going back to Israel's performance yesterday against Greece, they hit a miserable 3 from 22 from outside the arc.
So Mordecai Daniel, 125 caps coming into this tournament for Israel.
Now let's see what Coach Ivkovic has as a last 3-second play.
Bodiroga didn't miss by much, so 1 out of 2 foul shots for Daniel, and that means Israel will go into halftime 10 points down to Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia 35, Israel 25. As we said, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll show you highlights of this morning's match between Croatia and Finland, if you weren't watching it live with us here. And you see the difference in the statistics. Again, the scoring, 2-point shots 54% to 32, 3-point shots 40% to 16, rebounds 30 for Yugoslavia, only 11 for Israel. Turnovers, the Yugoslavs playing sloppy ball with 14, but they did add 11 assists to make up for the sloppiness. So once again, at halftime, Israel 25 and a rebound by Mukhtari. Here comes Doron Shefer for Israel. Nadav Hennefeld, we said they needed to get some offense from him, and he starts off. He got the first basket of the first half and nothing else much, and now gets the first basket of the second half.
Now, do the Israelis believe in themselves? Only trail by 8 in a low-scoring game. All they need is a couple of threes, and we have a game on our hands. But a nice little turnaround move there from Vladi Divac. Restores the 10-point margin.
And Hennefeld is being guarded by Zoran Savic at this point. One of the things I'd like to try to do if I were the coach was to get him out on a smaller man, get other big men in for Israel. Doron Shefer, again, way off on the threes. He's just been missing them with consistency in the last couple of games.
It was good defense from Djordjevic there. I think he just took the eye of the three-point shooter, and that was why it missed by so much. But the Israeli crowd seemed to have gone to sleep as well.
And the foul on the outside, our first foul of the half on Brad Leaf. Sorry, on Ardidi. Lior Ardidi in the game.
There's another example of how quick off the mark Danilovic is.
Djordjevic, Danilovic inside, makes some room for himself, misses the shot. Shefer comes up with it. You saw how quickly Djordjevic tried to shut down Shefer, but it didn't stop the Israeli fast break. One of their first fast break baskets of the game. Daniel getting it.
Great protection of the ball here, get his body. There was no way that Pascal could have blocked that shot there. Great ball protection.
And the foul called on Ardidi, his third, at the other end of the court. Israel now within 8. Divac Savic, cross court to Jurjevic. And Danilovic wide open, easy two for Yugoslavia. 10-point lead for Yugoslavia.
Danilovic makes things look so easy. He's such a smooth player, so well versed in the fundamentals of the game.
And you saw Savic just giving Hennefeld a push as he took that ball. Another three misses by the Israelis. And Djordjevic making contact with Doron Sheffer, who picks up his second foul before the shot.
These Yugoslavs just cannot resist showboating. We saw Paspal in the backcourt. His first pass was through his legs.
And you saw Djordjevic grabbing Schäfer's arm and holding on to make sure he was going to get the call. And now he takes the three, misses, and the rebound by Arditi. See if Israel can come down and work a little bit of team offense. Hennefeld goes on the drive, and that's swatted away by Divac.
And going 1-on-4 is the not exactly the team offense you were talking about there, Mike.
Divac with the rejection. And the foul outside on Savic, that's his fourth.
Savic unmoved by the fact that he's on 4 fouls, because he knows there are adequate, more than adequate replacements on the bench.
Hennefeld to Schäfer. That's Monty Daniel. That's Arditi, sorry. Nearly throws the ball away, but Hennefeld corrals it. Look at the Israelis all out by the arc. Schäfer now penetrating. Mukhtari on the baseline hits. 39-31, Yugoslavian lead.
And that was only token defense from Vladi Divac as well. So perhaps Divac just pacing himself in this game, mindful of the fact that he has supposedly much tougher games ahead of him.
Divac in the high post, trying to loft the pass to Savic.
And that's been called 3 seconds against Zoran Savic.
Which may be a lucky break for him, as he went backing into his man and knocked him over. So Israel with a chance to cut the lead now from 8 down to 6.
Yugoslavia have been sucked into this game plan of Israel. A very slow game. And there's Goran Savic.
Goes straight to the bench. Gets the bumping foul on Madi Daniel. That's his 5th. Divac commiserating with him, and Zelko Rebraka comes in the game to replace Savic. They lose a little beef and they gain a little quickness and shooting ability from Rebraka.
And just looking down at the stats, I think Rebraka's on 3 fouls as well. So the lead being reduced even further now. With that 3, it's only a 5-point lead now that Yugoslavia enjoy, if that's the right word to use.
And one man who's not enjoying this, Coach Dusan Ivkovic. Tipped out by Israel. Yugoslavia will keep possession.
And Vladi Divac is not enjoying himself either, just shuffling around the court, not really involved.
39-34, Israel getting back into this one.
And let's hope someone tells the director that this is a close game as well.
And Divac now moving across the lane, but it's knocked away. Mukhtari picks it up, and Schäfer's coming down for Israel. That's Hennefeld. Hennefeld going to the hoop. He's fouled on the outside by Rebraka before he could get the shot away. And that is 4 on Rebraka. So Israel could knock off a couple of the big men right away. And Yugoslavia want to call a timeout and talk this over, as Nadav Hennefeld puts Zelko Rebraka in foul trouble. Zoran Savic has already fouled out, and Israel has crept to within 5 of Yugoslavia here in Athens at the European Basketball Championships.
This is getting to be a bit like 10 green bottles for the Israeli. Let's knock another big Yugoslav out of the game. So only really Vladi Divac in no foul trouble for Yugoslavia.
And Coach Sheriff, you'd like to think this was a plan by Coach Sheriff, but you really just don't see it working. They're playing good defense at one end. The offense just isn't there, but they're going now. The individual game is resulting in fouls from Yugoslavia.
Well, I'd go back to that, Mike. I think it is a plan because Israel have been involved in low-scoring games for the entire tournament. No one scored a lot of points against them, and that must be deliberate on behalf of the Israelis. They've slowed things down. If there's a break on, they only take it if they're definitely going to score. And this game plan is entitled How to Win with Less Talent. I mean, Doron Jamshi injured on the bench. They have less talent, but they can still win. Never quit.
To Yugoslavia after the break. Coach Ivkovic brings out Dejan Tomasevic from Red Star Belgrade. Number 12, 6'9", only 22 years old. Doron Shefer with the ball for Israel. It's Daniel and Mukhtari, and got a foul called underneath on the new man, Tomasevic. Welcome to the game and welcome to the foul club. The big men in blue racking up fouls. Israel could get to the line, and Doron Shefer still can't buy a shot from the outside, and here comes Yugoslavia on the break with Danilovic.
Travel. That was the shot that Israel didn't want then. They just got a foul. What they should have done was run the shot clock down again and look for another foul. Just sow a seed of doubt in the minds of the Yugoslavs. They didn't need a quick shot then, especially one that missed. Unfortunately for them, Divac traveled.
Hennefeld on the drive. Little bounce pass to Mukhtari. Goes up with the left hand and misses. Divac clears the boards. Here comes Georgievic for Yugoslavia. And Shefer follows him. Georgievic just went one-on-one. That's 3 on Doron Shefer.
Of course, one of the things Israel don't want to do is get loaded up on team fouls early on in this half, because Yugoslavia, a good foul shooting team, and they don't want to give Yugoslavia any easy points.
Divac, nice pass. Paspalji puts it in. Good no-look pass by Vlade Divac. Leads back to 7 for Yugoslavia.
And that's the first score for Yugoslavia for some time.
Hennefeld again trying to drive. A long hook shot in and out by Nadav Hennefeld. Shakes his head and comes back very slowly from the other end. Two tips, and the foul is going to be called underneath on Tomasevic. That's 2 quick ones for him as he fought for the rebound. Those tight rims really at this place aren't giving anyone any breaks on the shots.
So 2 quick fouls for Tomasevic as well. Remember that Yugoslavia have 1 player fouled out. That's Savic. Rebecca's on 4, and Tomasevic just picked up his 2nd.
Mukhtari now one-on-one. Left-handed hook, in and out again. And Georgievic loses the ball out of bounds. No, it's still in play.
Great hustle there.
Great hustle by Georgievic. Keep that one going.
And the last 3 shots Israel have taken have gone in and come out again.
And interestingly, no reaction from the Israelis as the ball bounded back across the court. And the foul underneath, Daniel for Israel. And that's his first. See Paspalji just backing in, Daniel reaching around from the right for the ball and called for the reach-in.
Well, Coach Ivkovic definitely knows he's in a game here. Must have thought that this was going to be at least a 20 or 30 point comfortable win for him. But we have, and
that one will be Arditi, I think, grabbing a hold of Danilovic as he came around on the inbounds play.
Well, Tomasevic stopped there, just
I think he heard them say 14 was the reason, because they wear the same number, but the foul was on Arditi. Here comes Danilovic again. Can't get him the ball, but Georgievic has it. Daniel picks him up on the switch. Foul line jumper, soft touch, and in. And the lead's back to 9 for Yugoslavia. Doron Sheffer. Israelis working the ball carefully. Around the outside. In the middle to Hennefeld. He banks it off the glass. Good passing by the Israelis, and Hennefeld with the easy basket.
That's good patient offense from Israel. Pass the ball inside to the man who was being marked by the inexperienced player.
And it's Hennefeld on the steal. Hennefeld took it away. They try to get it in to Hennefeld. He's got it. Kicks it back out to Sheffer. And Israel will take the time and start it over again. Mukhtari nearly lost the ball underneath, but Hennefeld kept it in play. Sheffer with the quick spinning move we saw earlier in the game, and again draws the foul on Georgievic. 2 fouls on Georgievic, both coming on the same move by Sheffer.
Good patient offense again from Israel. They ran the shot clock down to 10, waited for that shot, and got what they deserved, 2 shots. And the second foul on Georgievic.
I think one thing we're seeing is how offensively Sheffer can be taken out of the game as a scoring threat by tight defense by a quicker player. Bad news for UConn next year in NCAA play. Sheffer, of course, has Ray Allen running with him in the backcourt at UConn.
And Georgievic is one of the quickest players in Europe. As personified. Here we go, straight to the hoop, nice hesitation and a nice soft touch. So Georgievic scored the last 4 points for Yugoslavia.
And they lead by 8, 45-37. No sooner said, he's the quick player, then he takes to the hoop and proves it. Hennefeld now. Sheffer pulls up for the 3, and again, way off. And Hennefeld taps that away. A great defensive player, Nadev Hennefeld. Very quick hands, quick feet. Coming in the game now, Obradovic and Bodiroga. Watch Hennefeld here with the quick reach. Got a little bit of arm as he went through. But the referee unsighted on the other side. Clean enough for him.
Obradovic re-enters the game, one of the best defensive players here. Remember, he did a great job on Marcialonis when Yugoslavia beat Lithuania.
Guy Goodis, number 6 in the game for Israel as well. Georgievic, Bodiroga's alone, but he loses the ball. He was lining up the shot before he got it, and Bodiroga gives away the foul rather than give the breakaway to Israel, and Mukhtari will go to the foul line. 3 fouls on Bodiroga.
Well, I know a lot of referees who would have called that instinctively as an unsportsmanlike foul, and I think they would have been right in that situation. Bodiroga lost the ball and then just grabbed hold of his man. To my mind, there was a lot of intent there that should have been called unsportsmanlike.
See, here's where one of the places where we differ, because I think an intentional foul is part of the game, and it should only be unsportsmanlike if you make it flagrant and could possibly injure the player.
I think Bodiroga stopped a layup there.
Definitely did. No question about that.
Yeah, the difference in interpretation is between FIBA and the NBA there, isn't there? There's no such thing as a flagrant foul in FIBA.
Well, the NBA's moving that way, though. They're much tighter on that than they used to be. And of course, I love the way that left hand goes out. And of course, in the NBA, when people do intentionally foul, they were making it pretty flagrant, and they had to cut that down because guys were taking very cheap shots when it was time to give away the foul. There's two separate things in here. One is when you stop somebody on the breakaway. That's one foul, when otherwise they'd be going in for a basket. The other is when you have to give an intentional foul. And you know, and I can see the argument more of what you're saying, when someone's on a breakaway and have the basket. But I really hate seeing guys called for that flagrant foul or intentional, when you know you have to give a foul. So the referee knows you're going to have to foul.
Yeah, I think we've sorted it out as far as this tournament is concerned. And the referee will call an unsportsmanlike foul if the ball isn't involved. There's a long 3 for Israel, and they're sticking to the plan. Guy Goodis, before yesterday's game, shooting 70% from outside the arc, and that's his first 3 of the game. So we have a 7-point game.
47-40. And if Gudis can get hot from outside, it becomes a whole different ball game for Israel. It's the only way they've really been able to ever open up defenses is by shooting from the outside. They don't have the quick ball movement inside. And a nice play by Paspalia, great bank shot. 9-point lead for Yugoslavia.
And Arditi couldn't believe that then. A completely off-balance shot from Paspal. Israel almost got their hands on it. And, well, that was a present for...
And Hennefeld called for the illegal screen as he took 2 men forward, moving like a tank. And Gudis, who could have followed him and gotten about 4 feet closer before he launched the 3, just put it up. Wasn't even close. So Hennefeld gets the foul for nothing. Petrag Danilovic comes back in the game.
And Djordjevic takes a break for the first time. So interesting to see who handles the ball now for Yugoslavia. It's Obradovic.
Bodiroga on the outside. Paspalia and Divac. Big men go high. Danilovic, there's the open man. Obradovic loads of time, misses the shot. I think we'll have a push-off underneath.
Almost certainly it was Paspal.
And here you'll get a look at it. Divac is doing one job, Paspal is doing the other, so takes your pick. Pays your money, you takes your pick. And Paspal picks up his second. And we're in the penalty situation now. Israel will go to the line, trailing by 9. And this is one of the things now they were working for, just to get some foul shots and get the points that way. But Arditi off the front of the rim. Well, if that's your game plan, you've got to convert the shots.
Israel have bored the crowd to death. They slowed the whole place down. People are talking to each other in the crowd and yawning, but they're still within 8 points.
Commentators are talking to themselves about when you give a deliberate foul and when you don't. Game plan working to perfection for Coach Sheriff. And Paspalia gets that one in. He gets the foul from behind from Mukhtari. So a chance for a 3-point play. That's Mukhtari's 4th.
That was a hell of a thump from behind. Here we go on the replay, and watch Mukhtari hit Paspal on the head. Even a tough player like Paspal was a little bit surprised by the amount of contact there on his head. So he's got a bonus as well.
Can't make the foul shot, but Divac keeps it alive and grabs it. There's Paspal underneath. Divac, a great passing big man. And Paspal draws another foul and will go back to the line.
Right, now let's see if my curse works in reverse on Paspal, because I have no hesitation in saying that Paspal is one of the worst foul shooters I've ever seen.
3, 2, 0, stop, please. Can we start now?
Let's see if Roy Birch's reverse curse can work. Work and how, because that one was not going in the basket, and some strange force pulled it forward. It looked like it was going to rebound back and just came back over the rim the other direction. That one reverts back to form. He really does seem to throw the ball at the rim, doesn't he?
That is a dreadful foul shooting action. Mind you, I wouldn't tell him that to his face. So.
From the safety of the booth, Coach Roy Birch able to give advice. And Gudis just testing that knee a little bit. It's the one that doesn't have the brace on it. Looking for sympathy from Obradovic. All he gets is good tight defense. Nice stance by Obradovic, but Gudis beats him to the outside. Hennefeld's all alone up top. They get it to Mukhtari underneath. He moves all around in the paint. And finally, the left-handed hook cuts the lead to 10 now. Yugoslavia up 53-43.
That's a great inside move there from Mukhtari. Kept his feet, kept his pivot foot down, almost got a 3-second violation, and then scored left-handed.
I thought it was 53-43 because Paspal had made the first of those foul shots. I don't think they gave him credit for that, so I make the score 55-43 on Divac's layup.
Classic low post play there from Divac. Long step and just a finger roll over the top. And no left-handed success this time from Mukhtari.
And the easy 3 from Obradovic.
Game just slipping away from Israel.
Divac putting on the defense at one end, Obradovic, the killer three at the other.
Yeah, another careless error from Israel. If you're going to play this game plan, then you've got to believe it, and you've got to play it for 40 minutes. If you slip up, if you just relax for 2 or 3 minutes, the game can go.
I mean, Israel want to call a timeout and regroup as they've fallen behind by 14. Yugoslavia 57, Israel 43. And better looking stuff from Yugoslavia. Israel just unable to keep up the offensive pressure for more than the first 6 minutes or so of the half. And Divac resting that left hand on the back before coming up to block the shot and then coming away with it. He handles the ball so well. He's got great passing vision. He just leaves that one for Obradovic, and as everybody falls down court, Obradovic off. Speaks. Basketball.
Then it's got to be. I think the rule basically is if you're going to have a t-shirt underneath, there's got to be a medical. A fashion expert, of course.
You've seen the way those guys. Nowadays, given what basketball uniforms are like, smart. Smart is definitely a judgment call. These guys are wearing t-shirts for medical reasons. Although in a drafty arena, I mean, I've got a sweater on right now, just to keep the draft off your neck and shoulders. It makes a certain amount of sense.
Quite a few people are allergic to this sort of modern fabric that uniforms are made out of, and the t-shirts that soaks up the sweat. And
they do grow a lot of polyester up in some parts of the world.
What do we say earlier on about the Israelis boring this crowd to death?
It's a game plan and it's working. And you, the viewers, are suffering as a result. And apologies if our two-way talk here bores you, but as you can see, the game is disintegrating right now. Israel could always get back in, but they seem to just lull Yugoslavia and then not really take advantage of it as Mukhtari goes to the line for Israel. Better looking free throw for him. He's got a t-shirt on.
But isn't it smart?
I think after the game, someone will go tell him Roy Birch doesn't think you should be allowed to wear that t-shirt. So, moving down to the 5-minute mark, Israel again within 9 points of Yugoslavia. Defensive intensity picking up at that end. They knock the ball away, but the Yugoslavs pick it up. And the basket by Danilovic.
And Danilovic there, I think, just acknowledging a little bit of good fortune, just exchanges pleasantries with the man who was marking him.
Gudis throws it through Daniel's feet. And, you know, if that's the pass he wants to make, he doesn't need the dribble, because he brings his man that much closer to Daniel by doing it. You see the crowd lulled into sleep. It ain't pretty, but it's effective. Israel staying within 11 of Yugoslavia, but never really threatening to generate the offense they need to be able to catch up.
The problem is that in the record books, if this goes down as, say, an 11 or 12 point win for Yugoslavia, and say, for instance, Yugoslavia do happen to win the title, then the Israelis can feel somewhat proud that they took Yugoslavia reasonably close.
Not much to brag about. In fairness to Israel, they're playing without their leading scorer, Doran Jamci, who jammed a finger before the game. Daniel now on the break. Thought about it, but nowhere to go. Good defense getting back by Yugoslavia. Now Daniel drives the baseline, and that one was blocked by Tomasevic. And Danilovic punishes them, and really now this could be the key point in the game, because Israel had the chance to cut the lead down. And you see Tomasevic, just good timing.
That just about sums up everything for Israel. They got a fast break opportunity, and Moti Daniel spurned the opportunity, and then Yugoslavia got a break at the other end. So a 4-point play.
Gudis drives the baseline, but still nothing open. Daniel now, he'll try. And his shot goes off the side of the backboard. And Gudis is fouled as he corralled the loose ball. And the foul called on Bodiroga.
So it'll be 2 shots to Israel, but really they need to be getting 2s and 3s instead of possible 1s. Whereas in the first half, the Israeli contingent in the crowd were really giving their all, trying to lift their team. We now have a ripple of semi-polite applause.
62-51, Israel do what they were unable to do against Greece and cross the 50-point barrier and trail Yugoslavia by 11. We're under 4 minutes to play in the second half of this game at the European Basketball Championships. Now remember, we'll be back tonight, 2100, 9 o'clock CET, 8 o'clock in the UK, live, Greece against Germany. We'll have a full arena, 20,000 people, for the defending champions Germany against the 1987 champions Greece. Germany need that win to stay alive and keep their hopes of qualifying for quarterfinal place going. Greece need the win to sew up, for sure, their quarterfinal place. Should be a good game. There'll be a great atmosphere.
Just to remind any viewers who've never experienced Greek fans in all their glory, it is quite awesome. It is unbelievable, the atmosphere that 20,000 Greek fans can create.
And hopefully Roy Birch and I will not have much time to talk about T-shirts and intentional fouls. And Guy Gudis now puts Israel within 9, just over 3 minutes to play.
I wonder if the Greek fans tonight will come out with their party piece, the old yellow pages being ripped up and confetti coming down like snow.
And Gudis going for the steal, trying to get around Bodiroga, commits the foul. It's his first. So now with 3.5 minutes to go, there's a couple of quick turnovers, and Israel could be right back in this game. Their tactics could be seen to be working. Bodiroga puts the lead back to 10 and can make it 11 with this foul shot. And he does. 64-53, Yugoslavia by 11, just over 3 minutes to play in this game. Guy Gudis with the ball for Israel. Good team defense by Yugoslavia. Gudis drives, throws up the high shot, looking for the foul. It can't go. It puts a little bit of pressure on the outlet pass. And Tomasevic throws it away.
Israel are all 1 on 2, 1 on 3, 1 on 4. Guy Gudis going to hoop there and really throwing up a prayer.
Sorry, it's Paspali who threw the pass away. Obradovic just couldn't reach it. Israel go back down to Gudis, and the pictures have disappeared for a moment. We'll get back to you as soon as we can with live action. .60 in the middle. Again, still forced to work slowly. They're 10 points down. They need to score quickly. Goodis takes the extra step, throws up the three-pointer. It's nowhere near. And Yugoslavia can just run the clock out. Running down and called for the travel is Dejan Bodiroga. And with a 12-point lead, you'd expect they just kind of hang on to the ball, but Bodiroga backing in, and the director now frantically searching for cutaways of beautiful-looking women in the crowd.
And he found a couple there. And I would put this Israeli effort down as a very similar situation to Slovenia. Slovenia, very disappointing as a team. It was all individual work, and that's exactly the same as Israel out here. They're all 1-on-2, 1-on-3, all doing their own thing, and no one looking to play any kind of teamwork at all.
And Coach Zevishev sort of recognizing that, or maybe just going along with it, hoping their defensive pressure could keep them in the games. They hold teams down to low score. They work the ball slowly, but they just cannot generate the offense. And it doesn't matter if you can't score, it doesn't matter how many you hold the other team to. And Obradovic putting Yugoslavia up by 14 as the clock ticks away. Just too many offensive weapons for Yugoslavia. You can play as slowly as you want, but every time you give them a chance, they take it. Capitalize on mistakes. And the couple of times when Israel could have gotten back in the game, no one could step up and drill the three-pointer or lead the fast break that would have helped them open up a lead or catch up to Yugoslavia.
That's right. Two key statistics that Israel should look at the end of this game. If their game plan were to work, then they simply had to eliminate or cut down by as much as possible the number of turnovers, and they had to score from the foul line. And in this game, their turnovers have really let them down.
No, two foul shots, 71-59. Yugoslavia over Israel, so the Yugoslavs will continue unbeaten in Group A. Israel will drop to 2-3, and problematical whether they can claim one of those 4 qualifying places, which right now look to be going to Yugoslavia, Lithuania, Greece, and Italy with the inside chance at that. But Germany and Israel still alive there if some unexpected results take place, because they're going up against Lithuania and Yugoslavia now.
And it looks very much as though the lineup, as far as Yugoslavia are concerned for the quarterfinals, is they will have a match against Spain.
Should be a good matchup, and not necessarily an easy one for the Yugoslavs, who, remember, beat Lithuania in an impressive performance where they wore down the Lithuanians, who don't have much bench, in fairness. And of course, in Group A, Greece is going to be a tough proposition here at home during the knockout rounds. Over in Group B, Croatia looking to class the tournament, but they beat Russia in overtime. The Russians are deep and talented. France, of course, only one loss, could surprise somebody. And Spain, the 4th team, should never be taken lightly.
There was the possibility of a rematch of Russia against Croatia in the final.
So any way that it goes through that tournament, we'll have good games coming up throughout that knockout round. The final score here, confirmation 72-59. And look at the turnovers, 26 turnovers to 8. That's hard to believe. Look at the rebounds, 47-18. 47-19, I should say. Assists 15-5. So the Yugoslavs committing far more turnovers. Israeli defensive pressure helping that way, but taking advantage of the team offense. A lot more assists, a lot more defensive and offensive rebounds. The Israelis 11 steals, but they just don't convert them into points. Now remember, at 9 p.m. CET, 8 p.m. in the UK, we'll be bringing you live Greece against Germany. That should be the match of the day in Athens at the European Championships. On behalf of Roy Birch, I'm Mike Carlson. You've been watching the last 2 games live from the European Basketball Championships here on Eurosport. See you later tonight.
Signore e signori, buonasera. Queste immagini vi giungono dal Palazzo dello Sport di Orthez in Francia, dove si sta giocando l'anticipo della quinta giornata del girone finale della Coppa dei Campioni di basket fra Orthez e Treser Milano. Dopo il primo tempo, la Treser Milano, campione d'Italia ed Europa in carica, in tenuta rossa alla destra dei vostri teleschermi, è sorprendentemente in vantaggio di 20 punti sul 54-34. Chi vi parla è Franco Lauro dallo studio di Roma, in attesa del perfezionamento del collegamento audio internazionale con Gianni De Cleva. Segreto di questo netto vantaggio della Treser nel primo tempo, sicuramente una grande difesa. Una difesa ben orchestrata da Mike D'Antoni, ma sorretta anche ai rimbalzi da McAdoo, Brown e Meneghin. Nel primo tempo è entrato anche Roberto Premier. Ricky Brown è il miglior realizzatore di questa Treser, che è già in testa al girone finale della Coppa dei Campioni 87-88 e che cerca qui ad Orthez i 2 punti che le consentono di mettere una serissima ipoteca sulla qualificazione per la finale a 4 di Gand. Intanto abbiamo visto un canestro di Hufnagel da 3 punti, inquadrato ora dalla regia francese. Si avvicina a 17 punti l'Orthez, 54-37, in attacco Mike D'Antoni. La manovra trova Ricky Brown pronto a liberarsi in sospensione. Ricky Brown, ma ora sentiamo in cuffia il ritorno della voce di Gianni De Cleva, al quale ricediamo la linea ad Orthez.
I suoi uomini. C'è stato ora un fallo che dovrebbe essere di Dino Meneghin su Scheffler. La Treser ha sofferto i primi 10 minuti del primo tempo, al nono si era sul 17 pari, poi ha avuto un parziale favorevole nettissimo che le ha consentito di andare in vantaggio incrementandolo via via grazie appunto a Brown, ma anche ai punti di Bob McAdoo che ne ha realizzati 15, e a una buona difesa a zona che ha messo in crisi i tiratori francesi, sia Hufnagel che l'americano Howard Carter. Meneghin ora per Mike D'Antoni che va al tiro dalla lunga distanza, canestro di D'Antoni, 2 su 3 al tiro da 3 punti per Mike D'Antoni, ed ora ci sono nuovamente 20 lunghezze di margine per la Treser sull'Orthez. 18 minuti e 11 secondi al termine, 59-39 il punteggio della squadra francese. Nel corso del primo tempo l'uomo migliore è stato il numero 12 Daniel Ake, che è in campo in questo momento con 3 falli a carico. Ancora Hufnagel forza sempre il tiro e non sappiamo veramente per quali motivi debba andare a tirare in condizioni sempre piuttosto difficili. Ricordiamo che lo scorso anno qui a Orthez la Treser iniziò il suo girone finale di Coppa dei Campioni con una clamorosa sconfitta. Perse infatti 75-73 e allora si disse che era un inizio pericoloso che poteva compromettere il cammino dei milanesi nella Coppa, che invece poi vinsero nella finale contro il Maccabi di Tel Aviv. Ora la Treser non è più... cioè l'Orthez non è più un mistero per la Treser, ed infatti i risultati si vedono anche sul campo. Carter al tiro da 3 punti, lo sbaglia, rimbalzo d'attacco di Kaba che riesce a realizzare. 59-41 il punteggio per i milanesi, 17 minuti e 30 secondi al termine. Piero Montecchi, ormai una sicurezza nella Treser, è entrato in quintetto base al posto di Roberto Premier, che comunque ha giocato nel corso del primo tempo, mentre non si è visto fino a questo momento Fausto Bargna. Casalini ha preferito inserire anche Aldi al posto di un Bargna che attraversa un periodo assolutamente negativo. La Treser comunque conferma qui sul campo di Orthez di essere in una fase decisamente favorevole sia in campionato che in Coppa. C'è ora un time out, 17 minuti e 9 secondi al termine, 59-41 qui c'è anche la banda, oltre ad un pubblico calcolabile in 4.500 persone, e sono decisamente tante per una cittadina di neanche 30.000 abitanti. Il basket Ortez è un po' tutto. Prima della partita fuori dal Palasport c'era praticamente una sagra di paese con grandi grigliate. La squadra però non si trova in una buona situazione di classifica nel campionato francese, dove è soltanto al quinto posto. Ha anche sostituito l'americano, infatti Tom Scheffler gioca in Coppa ma non in campionato, dove è stato sostituito da Rawson. E bisogna dire che Scheffler risente di questa assenza prolungata dal parquet, praticamente la sua prima partita in un mese, e infatti nel primo tempo ha avuto una percentuale di tiro di 1 su 6 piuttosto negativa. Ake al tiro e a realizzare Daniel Ake, l'unico uomo della formazione francese ad avere delle percentuali accettabili. Ake infatti fino a questo momento ha 12 punti con 6 su 10 al tiro. 59-43 per la Tresser sull'Ortez, 16 punti di vantaggio dunque. 16 minuti e 25 secondi al termine, c'è un fallo in attacco fischiato a Ricky Brown, terzo fallo per lui. Fino a questo momento Brown ha realizzato 18 punti. È il primo giocatore milanese con 3 falli, mentre nell'Ortez ne hanno 3 sia Kaba che Ake. Owen Carter, questi è Ake, la palla doveva arrivare a Kaba, ma c'è stato un intervento arbitrale e c'è una rimessa laterale in zona d'attacco per l'Ortez. Ancora Ake, Kaba, Hufnagel da 3 punti e questa volta trova il canestro dalla lunga distanza. 3 su 7 la sua percentuale oltre la linea dei 6,25 m e ci sono 13 punti ora di vantaggio per la Tresser, che ne aveva 20 all'inizio del secondo tempo. Fallo su Montecchi di Hufnagel, Freddy Hufnagel, secondo fallo. Lo scorso anno Hufnagel fece impazzire Mike D'Antoni, costruendo in parte il successo della squadra francese. Ma dobbiamo dire si giocava in un ambiente diverso. Dato il rimbalzo d'attacco di Meneghin, che sbaglia, recupera la palla Carter. Hufnagel, ancora per Carter, che va al tiro e realizza. Ed è veramente un ottimo momento ora per la formazione francese, che ha ridotto decisamente le distanze e cerca ora anche un po' di pressing sul portatore di palla. 11 punti di vantaggio per la Tresser, 59-48, si gioca da 5 minuti nella ripresa. C'è il fallo di Hufnagel su Mike D'Antoni e vedete Franco Casalini che rimette sul terreno di gioco Roberto Premier. Rivediamo il fallo di Hufnagel su Mike D'Antoni. L'allenatore della Tresser dunque ha scelto nuovamente un quintetto con 3 piccoli, che aveva già dato buona prova nel corso del primo tempo, e c'è ancora fallo della difesa francese, questa volta è di Scheffler. Tom Scheffler. Gli arbitri sono il gallese Jones e il belga Motar. Jones ha preso il posto del sovietico Grigoriev, che non è arrivato per problemi di visto. Montecchi e spazza il tabellone Scheffler, rimessa laterale per la Tresser in zona d'attacco. 14 minuti e 56 secondi da giocare. Tresser 59, Ortez 48, e come avevamo detto all'inizio una partita ancora molto difficile per la squadra milanese. Ora c'era un intervento di Ake su McAdoo molto dubbio, comunque Hufnagel che va al tiro e corregge a canestro Tom Scheffler. Momento di buio totale nella squadra milanese, che ha segnato soltanto 6 punti nel corso della ripresa. E a terra sotto canestro Hufnagel. Ortez perde dunque un uomo che poteva essere